regarding the assignment. Right. I'll be uploading the assignment we discussed. So, um, I'll be assigning the previously discussed assignment today, and I did not assign it yesterday because I had to explain how to create virtual environments in Python. Otherwise, you installing all of these libraries in your let's say main uh, Python folder would really clutter the folder, not folder, the language, and it could lead to some dependency problems. All right. First of all, I'll today explain how do you create a virtual environment and how do you activate it. All right. So I guess we'll start this session and share my screen. Okay, so is the screen visible? Excuse me, is the screen visible? Okay. Okay, so in the previous sessions, I was using this IDE called PyCharm. All right. So in PyCharm, you must have seen this folder. All right. It says library root. Right. What this folder basically is, it is the virtual environment. Right. What virtual environment basically means is the packages I install in the virtual environment will not be available in a root environment. All right. For example, let me run a pip test on my original Python, and you see it has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. It has only 8 uh, packages, but in my Django environment, let me see, I have a lot of packages here. Right. I have these many packages in my Django virtual environment. Right. So a virtual environment is necessary so that you do not basically clutter your original Python root folder, right? And in some cases, it leads to some dependency clashes, for example, version clashes, etc. So today I'll be telling you how to create a virtual environment so that you can basically differentiate between your different uses. All right. So we'll be creating, let's say, virtual environment for Django projects today, so that it does not basically affect our original installation. All right. So I basically open my PowerShell, like, and it is useful to basically create a folder. All right, where you store all your virtual environments. In my case, I already have that with the name of VENVS, I guess. Yeah. So this is where this is the folder where I store all my virtual environments. Right. So to create a virtual environment, you basically type Python space -m, then VENV. This is the command for virtual environment, and then the name of your environment. We'll be using Django, so I'll just call it Django. Right now, it will take some time, and a lot of time if you're impatient. But yeah, it takes some time because it basically imports all of your um, root packages, and let's see if we have installed it. And here you can see we have a Django folder. All right. So as you can see, I have a Flask environment, I have an ML environment, and I have others environment. All right. So all of these store different libraries, and they're not connected to each other in any way. All right. So now that we have created it, now we have to activate it. Right. As you can see here, all right. You see this thing, all right, before our address. So this tells us that we have a virtual environment active. All right. But here you see nothing. There's only this PS, which stands for PowerShell. Right, so there's nothing before this, which tells us that the environment is not activated. So we to basically activate the environment, we have to go to the folder, into the script folder, and we have to activate this. All right, this activate dot bat routine. All right, so let me just copy this location, and I'll just paste it here. What I could do is I would just copy it line by line. Okay. Just it here so I can see. So I'll just say dot slash Django slash scripts slash activate. Right. So what this part is, it tells it to basically go inside Django, inside the folder scripts, and to go with activate. And do not forget this dot in front of it. That this dot tells you to execute it. So we do this. Sorry. We do this, and we should see, yeah, and we've activated our virtual environment. Right, so you see this thing here, this tells us that we have activated the Django environment. And to go out of this, you basically say deactivate, and you're out of it. You are in your original package now. So let me just deactivate it, and let's say pip list, and you can see we have only two tools here. So I'll just install pip install Django now, right? If we do this, it would do its thing. Django is a lot of dependency, so it will take some time. Yeah. We'll just wait for a bit because, yeah, I guess we are done. Yeah, we're done. Alright, so I'll go pip list again, and as you can see here is Django, right? So now I just told you this because it's good to know something. And let's say if you're not a huge fan of IDEs, basically, then you can use this method. All right, I basically use IDEs for my projects like Django. Otherwise, to uh, basically run scripts, I use PowerShell and Atom. But for this, but for Django, I'll use this because it basically gives me this complete folder thing where I can open it, execute it, and see if it works. All right, so this is just something that's good to know, and I will just deactivate it. Spelling in it and exit. Right. So this is how you create a virtual environment, and it could be useful depending on what you're doing. If you're testing something and you don't want to ruin your original packages or something, like, you can use this. And what we'll be doing now is we'll be basically starting Django tomorrow, and I'll just basically cover some stuff, some basic stuff in this lecture. So it may be a little shorter than the other lectures, right? So yeah, let's start now. So I have this Django folder, which is a virtual environment, as I just told you right here. And what Django, I'll just show you a example of Django for now. I'll go here and I'll go Python manage.py console. I'll let you do not need to understand this right now. I'll just explain it when we get to actually doing this. But I'll do this. I guess I flushed the entire database. So okay, I flushed the database. So I'll have to create it again. Wait a second. Make migrations and migrate. I guess now we can run our server. Otherwise, I'll just have to run a different project. Alright, so as you can see, uh, when we ran this whole thing, wait a second, please. Yeah, so we do this whole thing, and it provides us with this small address. We click on this address, and I'll just open this on Firefox because for some reason Chrome won't cache Bootstrap for now. I'll just do this. And as you can see, this is our complete website. Like I click this, it brings me here. Let me just create a task which says test and test. I create task. It says new task created. I go to the task. It says your pending task. I click this. It moves it to the completed task, and I remove it. And when I remove it, you see since there are no tasks, this entire text changes, and the entire text changes because there's nothing here to. Correct. So what you just saw is basically what I did. So what is possible with Django in like 1 hour, 2 hour maximum. But you can do all of this, and this includes the styling, the text styling, the linking, and everything. The linking is basic. Sorry. The styling is basically CSS, but this uh, you know, the forms, whatever is displayed here, and when we create a task, let's say test 2 and description 2, when I do this, you see this is generated, this is done by Django, like pasting this here, the creation date and everything here, that that is done, that is done by Django. When you click this, it moves here. That too is done by Django. And when you remove this, it is completely deleted and removed out of existence. That too is done by Django. And uh, and that's what you can do with Django. So I guess I'll have to leave because I was meeting with Mr. Rajiv sir right now. So I apologize to everyone, but I just gave you a small uh, introduction to what basically Python can do. And Santosh ma'am, please take the attendance and make sure the leave. I have to go right? Santosh ma'am, Santosh ma'am, are you there? Let me stop this ending first. So Santosh ma'am is not here. So wait a second. Let me just take in attendance and then you guys can leave. Uh, yeah, now you guys can leave. Thank you so much, and I apologize for this really short class, but I have to go right now. Thank you. Sudha, please leave the meet. Yeah, Santosh ma'am, please remove Miss Surya from the meet and close the room.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.